That's the best way to start the Halloween podcast. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the special Halloween episode of the Kaotikast. I will be trying to put this one out actually on Halloween, but we are going to be recording it a little bit early, mostly because of Levy's work schedule. We have a lot of Halloween and horror related topics for this one, and of course, with me as always, I have Levy the Amish Man.
God damn it, that didn't work.
What were you trying to do there?
Fucking Inception theme.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, cut out.
Fuck.
I know you were, like, testing that out before we started the stream. Or, not the stream, the podcast.
Yeah, like, I got all the ones to work.
Except that
I
one.
had to edit my sound. Yeah, I had to edit my sounds, too. Especially this one.
Really miss my...
Nope. I need to get me one of those. Just so I can fucking, like, play random ass sounds.
Just have, like, a fucking podcast where it's just nothing but fucking, soundbite wars.
Sounds.
Why don't you do
I
it?
should.
I mean, hang on. There's plenty of them already. Jesus. Let's see. I found one. It's like $150.
Oh, you mean the Stream Deck? Yeah, the Stream Deck. Yeah. So in case you guys are wondering, of course, the way Levy does his magical sound is the fucking Elgato Stream Deck.
Not.
I'm not doing anything.
Elgato Stream Deck.
You don't have one.
Stop
Get
it.
some help.
Get some help.
You better get some help.
Yeah. So I didn't even look at the starting question here. Okay. Well,
starting question. This is the question.
Well, you know, the first thing we talk about usually, not a starting question. We don't have a well, sometimes we have questions on here, but sometimes we just have general topics.
Yeah, if I find Halloween questions on Reddit, which, speaking of which...
Well, I think we should start off with the most relevant thing, which is, of course, Amnesia Rebirth came out. I think we talked... did we talk about the other game that came out around the same time as Amnesia Rebirth, the Remothered? I think we talked about that in the last one, didn't we?
We did, but I didn't buy Remothered. I bought Amnesia Rebirth.
Yeah. So Amnesia Rebirth came out, and it's been getting fairly decent reception, but a lot of the reviews I've seen two different reviews. I saw one from a channel I watch sometimes called GG Man Lives, where he reviewed the game. He was like the first review I saw, and he said it was basically a somewhat decent game, but it was not as good as the original Dark Descent. And then I saw one from Critical where he was disappointed by it, and he gave it like a 60 something, and he said it was okay, but not what he was expecting, basically, which is fine. Like, I have been doing a playthrough of the game on my channel. I've been trying to, I tried to stay away from a lot of the major spoilers. I just wanted to know what people thought of the game, and I would say I'm kind of having a similar experience myself with how I feel about the game. So I guess with my first impressions of the game, I'm a little over an hour into it. Has an interesting premise with it being taking place, I think, hundreds of years later after the original game, and it takes place in Algeria. You play as a pregnant woman, actually, so that's pretty interesting. Yeah, well, you don't know that in the beginning of the game, but then you discover that like a little bit later on. So yeah, she's pregnant, and the game, the thing I really hate about the game is the game has these random jump scare images that they will show you sometimes in the game. Like, yeah, when you lose your sanity, you see these like random images of things, and it gets pretty obnoxious. Like, because there were segments where like you have to regain your sanity by just doing mash buttons basically, which I really fucking hate.
So
I don't know why they just.
It does something completely different, doesn't it? Like, didn't you say like I've seen like the original Amnesia, there was no jump scares at all or obnoxious?
It wasn't anything like that where they would like flash random images on the screen and it would be like a like when you lose your sanity. That's not how it would.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because from what I've seen, like your vision kind of blurs up in the original.
Yeah, and you hear your teeth chattering.
Yeah, and that's a better aspect. I rather would have
does
that
in Rebirth, and then it starts doing the weird image flashing thing, which I really just don't like. I thought it was unnecessary. And also the monsters are not as scary in my opinion as from what I've seen of them as the monsters in the first game. The monsters in the first game were more unique and just creepy, and the ones in this game are a little bit more generic in my opinion. They look more like those monsters from The Descent. They look like the typical like weird like Wendigo monsters you see.
Until Dawn comes to mind.
Not really that Lovecraftian in my opinion. I mean, it has Lovecraftian elements which I like, but not as heavy on like the horror in my opinion. You know, like, and that's basically what I heard from other reviews too, is that the game has more puzzles and isn't really as horror oriented, which it does have some horror stuff in there, but it's not as much as like The Dark Descent. And it's not as tense like as The Dark Descent. There was only like one part of the game where I felt like some genuine tension, and that was like when there's a brief segment where you're being chased by the monster, and you pretty much get away. Like, it lasts not even a minute. You just get away. So it's it's basically kind of like trying to copy one or a few of the different segments from the original game where you would have to run away from a monster, but those segments were longer. Like there was a segment in the first game that lasted like a little over a minute where you're just running away from a monster and like trying to close the door behind you. This game doesn't really so far have anything like that, but I will say it's definitely a huge step up from Machine for Pigs. But then again, I don't really consider Machine for Pigs to be a proper sequel, considering it wasn't done by Frictional, it was done by the Chinese Room.
The pig machine.
Yeah. And it was a really bad game in my opinion. Like, it just was not that good. This is definitely better than that. However, from what I've played so far, I will have to pretty much agree with most of the reviews I've seen. It's not a bad game, but it's not anywhere near as good as The Dark Descent.
Like, it could have been a lot better. It could be a lot better, but a lot better than the last one that wasn't even by them.
I mean, at least it's better than that. So, I mean, you know, I wasn't really like, I mean, considering it's Frictional, I did kind of have some high expectations. So I will say I am a bit disappointed in what I'm seeing from it so far, but not like, again, it's not a bad game. It's just a bit disappointing, and I feel like it should have at least been on par with The Dark Descent. Yeah.
I was going to say, because you're going to have it on the PC version, right? Well, unfortunately for me, I don't have it on that. I have it on the fucking PS4.
Yeah, you told me.
And I'm going to say this right now, the load screens for fucking Amnesia Rebirth, they're kind of lengthy.
That's interesting. Yeah, on PC it doesn't take long at all.
I'm trying to play through the game, and it's like the beginning of it's like barely scrolls up all the way, and then it finally gets to where I need to be. Yeah, I wait for another loading screen, but it's like shorter. I'm like, well,
yeah, that's
fuck this. Going back to Iconfell.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Yeah, it's not like that on PC. The loading screens are maybe under a minute.
Yeah, and I was gonna get Remothered Broken Porcelain so I could do a comparison, but it's like, man. Yeah, it's like Amnesia Rebirth. It's okay, but at the same time, it's a lot better than that.
I mean, at least technically it's a finished game.
It's
playable.
That's the only thing. It's playable.
I mean, it's apparently, from what I've heard, for Remothered, it seems like they really just released like the alpha version of the game and had people just test it out before they decided to release a patch for it.
It's like, here's a $30 alpha. Oh wait, you can fix it.
And have the community fix it. That's one thing I like. Well, it's not just a problem with like PC gaming too, but it's a problem with gaming in general. Like at least in modern gaming, when like a developer will like have like some fucking half-assed game and they put it out and they'll just be like, you guys fix it. You guys find the problems. We don't want to deal with it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's not our fucking fault. It's
yeah.
The fucked up thing to say. It's like if someone had a baby and they hand it to someone else and go, "It's your problem now."
Holy shit. Well, yeah.
That's essentially what I'm thinking.
I get what you're trying to say.
It's like, yeah, Remothered, broken, tormented fathers. It's like the proud fucking father, and then all of a sudden they see broken porcelain. They're like, "We don't want this."
Well, I think the difference with like Tormented Fathers is that game actually had like an early access, so I think people could play it before it was finished. Broken Porcelain didn't have anything like that, which I don't really know why they did that, because like I remember, because like I said, from what I remember with Tormented Fathers, I think it was on early access. This game wasn't, which I think it, in this instance, I think it actually would have benefited from that, considering how many problems it had after they put it out. Like it probably should have just been in early access so people could actually, you know, give them feedback and tell them like what the problems are with the game so far.
Yeah, but they don't. It turns out it's a big problem.
Yeah.
That's why I like games like Stardew, because the guy didn't even put it on early access because he didn't want to bring out a turd. He just didn't want to disappoint people, so he just finished it all and released it.
Yeah, I mean, or they could have done that. I just don't like. I don't know why they didn't just maybe push the game back. I think it was delayed once or twice already. Maybe that's why. But this game, yeah, it was delayed a couple times as far as I remember. Like, might have been delayed once or twice. But I feel like that should have just been delayed again. You know, considering how many problems it had at launch.
Yeah, I think it was. Let's see.
Yeah, because I think it had the original release date of it might have been August or September. Like it was sometime.
It was it was supposed to come out in September, but they moved it to a month later.
Probably should have pushed it back a little bit more.
Probably push it back to like maybe November or
really.
December or some shit. Or make it a next year thing, because no.
I mean, fuck. How many times has Cyberpunk been delayed at this point?
Well, I would give Cyberpunk or CD Projekt Red a lot more credit. At least they know what the fuck is up.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're trying to work on the game.
I can just imagine they, like, close to release date, they're like, oh yeah, we can't. We just pushed it back a little longer.
Sometime in 2021.
It comes from the Final Fantasy VII remake or Kingdom Hearts 3. Let's just wait. Oh, great! Cyberpunk has an anime, which I don't care.
I think I heard about that. I don't know why it's getting an anime.
I don't know.
I mean, it's
why
obviously
either.
inspired by Ghost in the Shell and like Blade Runner and all this other cyberpunk stuff.
Yeah, and I mean it's cool and all, but let's see the actual fucking game first before you do that.
Yeah. I mean, I have faith in CD Projekt. I'm pretty sure the game's going to be great, but
I do.
I don't know. I think this is like their like. I mean, because they mostly just put out like The Witcher, right? Like, this is going to be a totally different game for them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it gonna be like The Witcher, where there's a lot more shit to there's shit to do in it?
It might have a similar like, it might be kind of like in terms of like quests and stuff. Like when we have missions in the game, it might be kind of similar in that regard, like how we tackle side content or main story or whatever. But I feel like it's probably just going to be more like I don't know what would be comparable to this game. Like, I mean, there are a ton of open world games that are Cyberpunk. Well, there's quite a few different games that are kind of similar to Cyberpunk, but
it could be.
I don't know.
Oh, right. Remember Thronebreaker?
Yeah. Well, I guess you could say it might be a little bit like Deus Ex then, but just more open
that's
world.
That's a better way to describe it. And more, quote unquote, mature. Yeah. And all of a sudden the game turns out to be shit. You just see Adam Jensen going, I didn't do this. It's going to be... I hope to God Cyberpunk doesn't turn into complete ass.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it will. I mean, CD Projekt Red really has not disappointed me for the most part, so I'm pretty sure it'll be fine. It might have some problems at launch, but I think it'll be fine for the most part.
Yeah, I just hope to God they don't fuck.
I mean, it is a really ambitious game, so...
Very fucking ambitious. I think we strayed too far away from Amnesia and Halloween.
Yeah, we did. Speaking of Halloween, I think we were going to talk about Halloween traditions.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people have different traditions for what they do for Halloween. I mean, some people go out trick-or-treating, some people just stay at home.
Yeah.
And then some people get yelled at saying that Halloween's a devil's holiday. Like my childhood.
Oh, right. Yeah, because your parents are kind of religious nuts.
My mother is. That's the truly horrifying. Whenever you just want to go out and just get candy and trick or treat, but it's like, no, it's a devil's holiday.
So were you never able to actually go trick or treating?
Nope, not allowed to do that or dress up at all, except the one fucking time, and it was at a church thing where they did like fucking trunk candy. I'm like, that's kind of suspicious now that I think about it.
Oh, wait, what's Trump candy? What's that?
Essentially kind of like trick or treating, but you grab candy out of a trunk.
Oh, I thought you said now Trump that I think about candy. I was like, dude, it's Donald Trump there handing out fucking.
My fellow Americans, here's some candy. Here's some candy for the kids.
Okay, so but what's trunk candy? What is that?
It's like I said. It's like instead of like going door to door, you go
opens
up to
their car trunk, gives fucking kids candy or something.
Yeah, and people just stand by their trunk of their car and they hand out candy. But it was like at a church convention at a park. Exactly. Yeah, tell me about it.
Oh yeah, like that sucks. Yeah, because I can tell you, yeah, I went trick or treating as a kid. But mostly like it would be like I would go trick or treating in my neighborhood, and then like I would go to my grandfather's house, and like it would basically be like a family get together. We would all just go trick or treating around his neighborhood, and he had a big neighborhood. Like my neighborhood's pretty small. His neighborhood is like way bigger. There's a lot more houses, so we would just go there. Go to different houses.
It's like the rich people.
It's not a rich people neighborhood.
But to a kid, that's
well, it's a big neighborhood. There's a lot of houses you can go to. I remember one of the neighbors had their house. Like I was always amazed by their house because every Halloween they would just like go all out. They would have all these fucking crazy, the decorations that do all the sound effects and stuff, like the movie sound effects and the screams, and all these you have all these crazy like different I think they had like witches, they had zombies, all the typical like Halloween horror movie stuff they'd have out on their lawn. It was these big fucking these big things. It was just so fucking cool that every year it would be like something different, so that they would just, like I said, they'd go all out for it. But that was pretty awesome. Like I Halloween, like it didn't used to be, but like looking back on it, I was like, yeah, that was an awesome holiday. Now it's just like, I feel like as an adult, it's just kind of a nothing holiday. Like I mean, it's the same thing for most holidays when you're an adult. It seems like, because like when you're a kid, like certain holidays are like a big event, a big event.
It's like very fucking.
But like
boring.
when you're an adult, like especially like Halloween, it's like, well, what do? You can't go trick or treating. I mean, be kind of weird. You're not a kid unless you're like chaperoning kids or something. But or if you have kids,
that makes sense.
But if you're like, you can still dress up, but like you're really limited. Like you could go to a haunted house maybe, or you could just watch horror movies, which is pretty much what I'm doing. There's not really much else.
Or you could do what I'm doing and go to a wedding.
Oh, well, that's a great way to spend Halloween.
well, blame my brother for it and his fiance, because that's what they agreed on
Halloween.
Yeah, that's exactly what they wanted.
Are they like making it like some horror like event or something if they're doing, or is it just like a typical wedding?
Like a typical fucking wedding. I was actually hoping to dress up like fucking a goose.
I would
be like,
just like a fucking like. I mean, I would take advantage of that. I mean, like we're gonna do like a fucking just dress up like it's Halloween.
Just like I said, go as a goose.
Untitled Goose Game.
It's like, speaking of for our pro piece, just have like the fucking goose sound effect of it honking. It's like, what the fuck was that? There's geese in here.
Yeah. But yeah, like it sucks because, like, I mean, especially with the fucking virus now, like everybody, like they're like, oh, at first I thought they were gonna ban the holiday, they were saying, and now it's just like I'm pretty sure everybody's like, well, we can do it, but we gotta social distance and all this bullshit.
Okay, I call bullshit on the whole social distance thing, because apparently they're like, oh yeah, you need a social distance. Meanwhile, they open up the fucking beaches and everyone's crowded. They go to clubs, people are crowded. Grocery stores is fucking crowded.
Yeah, and I mean,
so better not give me that
like
bullshit.
you can't control people, like if you let people like get together, and, like, because I mean, for example, like we had the state fair here, but we're not doing it like we usually do, where it's gonna have rides and stuff. We close the rides, so now we're having this thing where like we're just selling the food that gets sold at the fair, so people will come and buy the food, but like you're supposed to buy the food and then like leave not long afterwards, but of course nobody's going, because of the virus, but of course nobody's fucking doing that because they're all just grouping together and just eating the food there. And it's just, I'm just thinking, what did you stupid fuckers think was going to happen? It's like, if you let them just come and eat the food, that they're not just going to all follow the rules.
Of course they're not going to follow the fucking rules.
It's just like all this, this mask bullshit. Like, people will probably wear masks when they go into certain stores and stuff, but if they're just outside, they're not going to always wear the fucking masks. You can't really, you're pretty much just going to have to force them to do it if you want them to do it all the fucking time. And then we kind of step into, soft authoritarianism if you want to just force everybody to comply with your fucking government, your government rules and regulations and all that bullshit. So... it's
like it gets really fucking old. It becomes a broken record where it's like, hey, wear a mask, okay, and then you see fucking people outside your local Walmart protesting, save our kids, ban the mask. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah,
it's like, I get it, save the children, but really have to get in my way of those deals.
Yeah. I feel like the whole thing is really overblown. Like, is it a problem? Sure. But is it as big of a problem as they're making it out to be? I really don't think so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, this is why I want to be a hermit from now on, but no.
But yeah, I think we kind of went over Halloween as a kid and Halloween as an adult. Well, okay, so in any other, like, usually if you didn't have to go to the wedding, like, how would you spend your Halloween as an adult?
Probably nothing. Probably just sit around my house watching movies or playing video games while giving candy to kids. But since the whole pandemic happened, probably that's not going to happen.
Give them apples.
But keeps the doctor away, kids.
Give them toothpaste. Eat apples and toothpaste.
No, give them fucking hands.
Oh, okay. What? Oh, this was okay. I don't know if this was a Halloween thing. No, this was. Oh, it kind of was a Halloween thing. You know those kids who would prank people, like just ring the doorbell and like run away. Yeah, I guess you could kind of say that was a Halloween thing. Although I wasn't doing it during Halloween. Like, we call it like Ding Dong Ditch, where you just ring the doorbell and you just run and hide. I did that. I used to
okay.
do that with some of my friends. We just ring the fucking doorbell, run away, or just I mean,
Fucking asshole.
well, it's even another thing that's kind of annoying is like of course we also have the Halloween tradition of TPing someone's house and throwing toilet paper at their house.
Yeah, I'm throwing
Eggs
eggs
at
at
their
their
house,
fucking
yeah.
house. All because they didn't give you a big fucking Hershey's bar. They just give you a Hershey's Kiss.
I'd say do that to the old lady that gives you the toothpaste and fucking apples. Throw fucking toilet paper at her house.
They better fucking. I'll just run after them with the horse mask.
Pony.
Just imagine that. No, just go up there with a robe and just start screaming at them, making like random gibberish. I think another thing that people did as an adult, like when you're a kid, you just go out trick or treating, and it's like, oh hey, fun candy, and then all of a sudden, when you're an adult, you go to Halloween parties, and
Yeah.
trick or treat, and hey, pregnancy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Halloween parties. Yeah, there's Halloween parties too. Although I don't think I've ever really been to like a Halloween party.
I didn't either because it was with people I didn't really know, so I'm like, I'm out.
That's parties in general.
Then I didn't have a costume, so fuck it.
The only other thing I did was I went to a haunted house once, and it was okay. Like it's basically you just walk through the haunted house, and then they have all the random noises, and then someone will jump out in a costume and try to scare you. That's pretty much the adult haunted house experience.
Oh, that's what my brother ended up. He ended up.
I mean,
working
it's
at one of
cool
those.
looking, I guess, when you go through there, and they try to do some stuff that scares you, but it's not really. I mean, really nothing to write home about. It's just kind of. I guess a good way to.
Yeah, I mean,
waste
it's
your
just.
time.
It's just. It's just like not the same. Like when you're a kid, you get scared easy, but when you're an adult,
Yeah,
not
well, yeah, and
really.
you already know it's fucking fake.
It's fake. Oh look, this guy is dead. Wait a minute, why is not fake? Oh shit, he's actually dead.
I did see a horror movie that was like a found footage horror movie that was like about people trying to run an adult haunted house, and it ended up actually being a haunted house.
Hey, what was
It
it
was called
called?
Hell House.
I'm trying to think because LLC.
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't what I thought it was.
Probably not. But yeah, it's basically they try to run a haunted house and it ends up being like an actual haunted house.
Because I know there was one movie that it was like found footage,
There's a lot of those.
but it was directed. I'm trying to figure out like which one did it. Let's see. Not searching.
The found footage genre is. There's a lot of found footage movies.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to find the right one. I just forgot what it was fucking called.
You said it was about a haunted house, or like a fake haunted house or something.
Not exactly, but it's I'm trying to think of it. Not the other side of mine. Not from Jennifer.
Well, there's all those paranormal
Shit.
activity movies.
Yeah, it was based off of that one. I just forgot
Oh,
what
it
it
was.
was. I know it came out years ago.
Wait, it wasn't in the
Yeah,
paranormal
it was-
activity series, was it?
No, it was something else. Oh, never mind. Fuck it. I'm just gonna give up looking.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Well, we also have okay, so I noticed you categorize some of these, like you had like costumes. And
Yeah, this is why I had costumes because this happened many fucking years ago. It's like ever since the It Chapter 1 movie came out, there had been fucking clown sightings.
even before that, I think I don't know how long this has been going on for, but I know like there are people would like randomly dress up as as clowns just to fuck with people. Like they would basically just kind of freak people out, just dress up as a clown or whatever, I guess, just to scare them.
Yeah, but it gets like really out of hand. Like they'll pop up. Like if you're trying to sleep, they'll probably peek through your window.
Yeah, like they would kind of push it. They would, like you said, peek through your window. They would, The examples I saw was like somebody would be driving, and then like there would be like one of those clowns. They'd like stand in the middle of the road, and then they would the guy would get out of his car and like try to fight the guy or whatever the fuck. They basically just take it too far. I mean, I know it's a prank, but they just take it too far.
No, yeah, they'll take it way too far, dude. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, everybody pretty much hates clowns, so. They never really, like, I mean, they scared me as a kid, but they don't really scare me that much now. So, I don't know. It wouldn't really work on me. I'd just be more annoyed by it.
Yeah, I just get really annoyed. And you see the people that also dress up as, like, the slasher movie villains.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see those, but when they do it, though, they're not attacking people. They're just walking around looking stupid.
Oh, yeah, so, like, everybody else on Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. It just becomes a big fucking problem.
Did you make a category for, like, all the slutty, like, nurse outfits and, like, the slutty doctor and all the other fucking, like, the outfits the chicks like?
You know what? I should have fucking put that on there, because that's a great fucking topic for that. Okay, I get it. You want to look like sexy on Halloween, so you dress up like the slutty doctor or nurse. But why go to a fucking party dressed up as that, complain when they get hit on, and then just attack everybody for what you decided to wear?
And it seems like every year they just get even more revealing with how I guess you would say risque the outfits are.
Yeah, like, I've seen so many of them. And I've also seen, like, the fucking fan art that people make. Like, example, the Plague Doctor from fucking Darkest Dungeon. They make her turn into a slut. And I'm like, why?
Rule 34.
Why they do this? Yep, it exists. There's going to be fucking porn.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just, it's just like,
I'm not complaining either. But it kind of makes me wonder, who thought this was a good idea?
I mean, like, okay, I would say, like, if you're going to, like, a party, if you're going to a place where there are mainly adults, fine. If you're going to a place where there are a bunch of fucking kids, not okay. I hate to use the think of the children argument, but I mean, you're just going around wearing almost nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a problem with conventions too. I mean, because chicks will just dress up as these like little slutty versions of a character or whatever,
or to piss off the Catholics.
And then of course they complain whenever men look at them.
Well, I'm sorry. Wear fucking decent clothing.
I guess you should specify and say, like, the wrong man looks at her. It's not Chad. Chad didn't give her attention, so she's mad.
She's mad because Chad didn't decide to notice it, so the virgin gets, like, all uppity.
It's like you're going to a convention, too, where there's going to be a bunch of fucking nerds, so I don't know what you expect.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
Chad's not going to be there.
Chad never goes to those fucking dorky things. Unless it's like one of those Halloween parties where he's like the jock decides to hold the fucking party.
Yeah, it's like a keg.
Yeah, the keg. He's like, dresses up as the keg. He's like, hey, come get some beer. And it's like one of those really bad sex costumes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll bet they have something like that at fucking Spencer's.
Or sex shops.
Well, Spencer's has some weird shit too, though. I mean, apparently they sell sex toys. So.
Yeah, they do, and they also sell like sage and stuff to, like, if you're like a witch or some shit or a Wiccan, they sell that shit too.
Would you say Spencer's is like the edgier version of Hot Topic?
No, I would say that Spencer's is its own thing. It's silly when it wants to be, but at the same time, it's quite interesting to go into.
I agree. I mean, like,
Hot Topic.
It's the same thing with Hot Topic. Like, I would only go there just because they have band shirts I wanted to wear.
Or Hot Topic's one of those things that you feel dirty going out in and out of it.
I mean, I wouldn't go there now. Well, maybe I would just to look, just to look, just to look.
Just to look comes out looking like a hipster. Goddamn hipsters!
Oh no, I've been assimilated. I've become the Borg.
No. No, Chaos, don't go in there. Too late. You go in wearing your normal clothes.
Come out wearing the fucking tight jeans and fucking
the tight jeans, the fucking My Chemical Romance shirt, or what was not that Fall Out Boy shirt, and the glasses, and the glasses with the fucking no lenses. But they say deal with it.
Oh god.
Fucking hipsters. That's I think that's a hipster haven now. Back then, when
it
used
was
to carry
the scene emo kid haven. Now it's the hipster haven.
Yeah, it's also was also where some metalheads would go because they would usually have metal shirts.
Yeah, that's really the only reason I went there was because they had metal shirts.
I remembered one day, a long time ago, I bought a Children of Bodom shirt.
Oh, I think I got one from there too. I think it was the Lake Bodom one.
Well, I got the Hellhounds on my Hellhounds on my Trail, that album cover on a shirt. My mom hated that shirt. Oh, it symbolizes the devil. It's really? Stop ruining all the things I enjoy.
Yeah. It's I mean, okay, I would say if you're going into Hot Topic just to get because they would have stuff from they'd have some Iron Maiden shirts or something like that. I'm if you're getting something like that, fine, but get that and get out That's my strategy. Be hey, they have some 80s metal band or something. I wanted to get.
Shit. Apparently, Children of Bodom has disbanded.
Damn, when did that happen?
It happened last year. But apparently the lead vocalist and one of and another guitarist decided to make their own band called Bodom After Midnight.
Bodom After Midnight.
Yeah, and it's also funny because that was actually one of the song titles.
That's pretty good. I mean, at least they're still making music.
Agreed. At least he still kept the swing of it.
Yeah.
I don't know why they disbanded.
I don't know. That's weird.
Let's see.
One of the members was a alcoholic, and he ruined everything.
No. Oh, you know what? Speaking of costumes, you know who the band Static X is, right? Oh yeah, because a few months ago they released a new album called Project Regeneration Volume 1.
Did they have a new frontman?
Apparently how they did it was some of their songs they actually had the original vocalist in it.
Oh, okay.
But here's the biggest problem though.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show you the problem. Apparently they got someone to dress in a mask of Wayne Static.
Ooh.
And
not a good idea.
Let me just show you what they ended up doing, and it's
that's not a good look. That's not going to look good.
Well, here you go. This is exactly what it looks like.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
Yeah, and apparently when people saw that, people called it a creepy version of him, or zombie Wayne Static.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression I'm getting.
But also there's a fan theory that, in my opinion, is actually reality. The lead vocalist of Dope took over just for Zero for Static X.
Oh, from Dope?
From Dope, the lead vocalist.
I thought Dope is okay. I listen to some of their stuff.
Some of their songs are good, but he actually did a pretty decent job in Project Regeneration, and also contributed to the music too.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess we learned something today, boys and girls. Don't wear masks of of dead band members for your fucking music videos or whatever.
Or better yet, don't wear masks at all unless you're Slipknot.
Do you still listen to Slipknot?
There was it. We Are Not Your Kind was a pretty decent album.
I actually I don't really like Slipknot so much anymore. I like Stone Sour. I think some of their stuff is okay.
Even though it's the same.
I know, but it's a different genre. It's
different sound. Well, I was going to say, We Are Not Your Kind was actually not a bad album. It was more of a return to roots. Mm-hmm. It was a lot better than, what was it? The Gray Chapter.
Yep. Anyways, I think we should get back on topic here.
Yeah, don't dress up as dead band members.
Okay, we kind of went over people walking around as Jason and Michael Myers and Freddy, right? Or just...
No, I would say it's kind of the same. I could make a comparison. It's the same as clown sightings, but it's not as creepy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just people dressing up for Halloween, though, because, I mean, it's one of the typical costumes you would see.
oh, fuck. I'm just now reminded. Speaking of Michael Myers.
Or the Scream guy, like the guy from, like, Ghostface from Scream. Yeah, like, I feel like Ghostface from Scream is, like, a much more prevalent, like, it's, there's way more people wearing that.
Yeah, or fucking
because
Pennywise.
It's just like, I'm pretty sure people wear it and they have no idea what it's from.
Well, at least I know where it's from, and I hadn't even seen the fucking movies.
Oh, those are good movies. You can watch those.
I heard the fourth one wasn't that good.
Fourth one was good. That was I think I'm trying to remember. That was with the main character of the first movie is like niece or something. I want to say something like that.
I thought she came. Yeah, David Arquette, Courtney Cox. They were still in it.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
it was a good movie. Like, I does it have like a bad rating or something?
Well, it has a 60.
And that's average. I mean, that's not bad.
It was praised for its performances, direction, and humor, but lack of scares and cliched formulas.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you could do a lot worse for a fourth entry in a horror franchise.
Yeah, well, a lot of people, well, now that I look at it, apparently people didn't like Scream 3.
I don't remember much about Scream 3. It's mostly like, I mostly just remember Scream 1 and 2. And then they tried to do like an MTV series for Scream.
Oh, they did?
But it was like Copycat Killers, I think. It was decent from what I remember of the episodes I saw, but I never watched the rest of it.
Apparently, Scream 4 was Wes Craven's last movie. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, it was also called Scream Resurrection.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Don't call it that. Don't call it.
That's what the fucking TV series was called, motherfucker.
I was about to say, I'm like, oh, don't call the movie that.
No, that was what the fucking series was called.
It gives me Vietnam flashbacks to Alien Resurrection. That movie was awful.
No, dude, they'll call Scream 5 Scream 5, like what he did originally.
Yeah. Oh, or they were. Oh god, they replaced like the S with the 5 or some stupid shit. Do you hate when like people like they like for movies they would like replace the letters with fucking numbers and shit?
Fantastic Stick.
Yeah, Fan4 Stick.
5 Cream. Or
Fast
like
5.
I think that's stupid. Like I think that's fucking stupid, but yeah, Fast 5. Or a good way to do it was like Resident Evil 7. How they did it.
Yeah, or what they're doing with 8.
Yeah, how the fucking Roman numerals like mix in with the title.
I think that's clever.
Yeah, that's actually cool, and it's like I'm looking at it right now. But wait a minute, how the hell they're going to do it with Resident Evil 8?
I forget how they did it.
I think they had it. Oh no, they probably put it with Village.
Yeah.
Now I gotta look this up.
Yeah, I think it was with Village.
Image. Yep, that's exactly. No, they called it Village Resident Evil.
Yeah.
God damn. What the so it's no longer called Resident Evil, it's called Village.
I guess
Not
that's
Resident
like a
Evil
subtitle.
It should have been. Yeah, like Resident Evil is supposed to be a subtitle now.
I don't know. I don't like the name Village. I think that's kind of generic.
Resident Evil 4 took place in a village. You don't see that called Village.
I mean, people were just making the joke like, "Oh, this already happened in Resident Evil 4."
Resident Evil 6 was called Resident Evil 6, not Resident Evil Giraffe Gets Blown by a Girl.
Oh, this will be an interesting one. Ghost stories. You can talk more about this. I haven't really had any experiences with the paranormal, quote unquote.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, like, ghost stories doesn't really have to retain to just ghost stories. It can retain to any type of books. Like,
because I see you put like what
Lovecraft.
makes them captivating and haunting.
Yeah, it's like Lovecraft and fucking Edgar Allan Poe. Those type
Lovecraft
of ghost
isn't
stories.
really ghosts. Edgar Allan Poe, I guess you could say, but like Lovecraft is more. It's called cosmic horror because it deals more with like aliens and extraterrestrial and stuff.
Or Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, I actually do have a book of H.P. Lovecraft novels.
You should read them.
I mean, I do have it.
Yeah, that's why I said you should read them. Okay, so I guess I would say like it's for the first, or at least for the first part of this, like what makes them captivating. I think people just have a fascination with the paranormal. They want to believe that there are other things in this world that we don't understand. I mean, the same could be said for like not just their paranormal, but with aliens and other occult phenomena, I guess you could say. People want, people are just fascinated by stuff like that, and I can understand. Like, I'm fascinated by that stuff too, but at the same time, I always try to approach things from a skeptical perspective as well. And I'm like, this doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, it's interesting, but how the hell does this even make sense? Like that's kind of how I see it. But I do find it interesting though. At the same time, that and it's like, do I think that ghosts could possibly exist? Sure, but I need to see it for myself. That's basically my stance on it.
They can't be stopped by anything. That's what keeps you up at night.
It can't be what?
They can't be stopped by anything.
Well, no. I guess that may be if you're a priest. I don't know. Try to exercise or try to cleanse the house or whatever. Bless the house, yeah.
Like, fucking, what am I thinking of? I think what makes them captivating and haunting is that it goes, like, deep into, like, childhood trauma or fear. Oh, fuck. Fuck! That fucking terrified me.
It was the ghost.
Oh, shit, it is scary. Fuck.
Spooky, scary skeleton.
I was gonna say, goes into childhood fear. Fuck. But yeah, it goes into like childhood fears and trauma, and that's kind of what makes them kind of creepily fascinating.
What do you mean by like you mean like just?
Well, think about it. Like when most ghost stories, like they'll talk about like someone mysteriously dying, and or it goes by like, hey, here's monsters that roam around at night, like something that a child is afraid of.
I know what you mean, yeah. Because like when I was a kid, like you believe stuff like that. You believe there's something in your closet, there's something under your bed. Holy shit, I gotta, the boogeyman exists. He's gonna come get me.
Exactly. Yeah, and people believe that, and that's like campfire fucking stories. It's also kind of great to like tell stories like that to make your kids like freak out.
There's stuff that as a kid that would, that weren't necessarily like monsters or ghosts that freaked me out too. Well, I guess you could say monsters in this instance, but like I used to really like the Godzilla movies. Godzilla used to fucking terrify me because I always was thinking like, oh god, what if he was real and he came to like just destroy everything and fucking kill me or something with his atomic breath. Like that shit scared me as a kid.
Oh no, like there's some. It wasn't like so much like Godzilla, but it's like Indiana Jones didn't really scare me that much. until that one scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I thought you were
where it's like, hey,
Temple
open up this book. That's actually another one too.
Like when the guy rips out
Temple
the
of
heart.
Doom.
He's like,
Yeah, and you're afraid that, oh shit, people can actually do that too. I kind of want to do that to like kids in the future. It's like, hey, don't behave. Your heart's coming out.
I'll rip out your still beating heart.
They'll think I'm crazy. All of a sudden, I just pick up, put on like a headdress, and just say Kalima, Kalima, and then they run away.
Shit.
Yep, that's actually a good one. Oh fuck! What? I'm trying to think of other shit too. Like, what? Do you remember any ghost stories at all?
I mean, just the typical stuff you hear as a kid, like the Headless Horseman. I think I heard about the Bloody Mary stuff. A lot of different urban legends, I suppose.
Yeah, like some urban legends could do that. I'm trying to think of one. I'm trying to remember. That's what it was. Fuck this book as a kid.
Oh, was it Scary Stories?
It actually terrified me as a child.
Yeah, the illustrations for that are fucking creepy as hell.
Like, there was a book called The Ghost of Nicholas Grebe.
I think I read some of those, or I had people like there were people who would read them to me as a kid. That was like the collection of Scary Stories or whatever, and they had those creepy ass illustrations.
Yeah, those were like.
Speaking of which, yeah, the movie adaptation of that came out like a couple of years ago, or maybe it was a year ago. It was okay. Like, I saw it in theaters. It was okay. Although I expected a little bit better, considering it was Guillermo del Toro. But I mean, some parts were better than others. Like, I mean, but I think, like, in terms of the monsters and everything in the movie, it was good. But in terms of the plot, it was kind of not so good. It was kind of yeah. Could have been better.
Yeah. Like shit. Like I said, I remember and I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah. Yeah, I read some of those as a kid. Obviously, like the Goosebumps books. Goosebumps freaked me the fuck out. Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark? I saw a lot more episodes of Goosebumps, but I saw some episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark too. Both of those shows freaked me the fuck out and traumatized me.
I heard those were good.
Yeah, you never watched it because you never got Nickelodeon.
And I never seen the movies either.
Yeah. Well, I read the books too, because I mean, Goosebumps had books you could read.
I read the books when I was a kid, but I never saw the show.
That intro is creepy as hell. It's so fucking creepy.
Oh, fuck. I should have got that as a soundboard.
No, actually, never mind that. The Are You Afraid of the Dark intro is actually worse. Just because of, like, it has this creepy-ass music, and it just shows, like, those just the swings, like, just empty swings swinging around, fucking kids laughing and all this. I think I talked about this on the earlier podcast we did. Like, it was, like, the second episode or something. But the Are You Afraid of the Dark intro is fucking scary as hell if you're a kid watching it. You're just like, oh god, this is disturbing.
And then when you're an adult, it's like so dumb.
It is, but I can see how it would scare you as a kid, though.
It's like so dumb.
The Goosebumps one is even dumber when you watch it.
But yet the fucking theme song was a banger. I can imagine, like, hey, go to the fucking club. What are you gonna recommend? Like the Goosebumps
dubstep remix to fucking Goosebumps.
Bwah, 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 bwah.
Skrillex on his fucking laptop, just banging his fucking.
Bwah, bwah, bwah. It's like a bunch of fucking blubs.
Skeleton Skrillex brought his fucking MacBook. He's ready to get down.
He's ready to get the kids what they want. And he's gonna be like, yo, dogs, this fucking song, the show freaked me out as a kid. I want y'all to freak out. And then all of a sudden he just plays that, what is it? Equinox. Brings in Slenderman.
Someone dressed up as Slenderman. Oh, yeah, can we talk about fucking Slenderman? Is that a topic on here? Fucking Slenderman.
You know what? That actually is like a thing. Like it is a ghost story in a sense, right?
It's more like an urban legend, but yeah, you could say it's kind of like a ghost story, I guess.
That's what I thought.
I mean, the idea behind Slenderman's kind of creepy. He just kidnaps kids.
Yeah.
He has like the
agree
weird
with that.
tricky arms. Although, of course, like the internet kind of ruined it. As the internet tends to
Yeah. Because of the game.
The game just it just got, there was way too much Slender shit. Like it just got really out of hand. And then we had the movie, which we had multiple movies actually, but we had the one big budget movie from fucking, I think it was Sony. It was terrible.
Wait.
I think it was Slender.
Oh, Slenderman. It came out 2 years ago.
It was terrible. It was bad.
Was it done by Sony?
I think it was Sony.
Yes, it was. Distributed by Sony. Wow. Slenderman holds an approval rating of 8%.
That's pretty shit.
Yeah, someone gave it a D-. A tasteless and inevitably undercooked serving of the internet daily.
If you want something that's Slenderman related that's actually kind of creepy, look up the Marble Hornets videos from Slenderman. Like that's kind of how the whole thing sort of got kicked off, was the Marble Hornets videos. Basically,
wasn't it like a creepypasta?
It was a creepypasta, and then they had the Marble Hornets videos where it was kind of like this found footage type, amateur found footage thing where, like, you know, they would, you know, like at first, when I first saw it, I remember when it first came out, I thought it was real. But of course it's not real. But basically the premise is, you know, Slenderman's following these guys around. They were making like an amateur film, and then of course the Slender Man starts following the different crew members around. They're running on the run from Slenderman. It's pretty good. Like it's pretty creepy, pretty effective, and it scares.
Yeah, trying to be like the Blair Witch Project.
It's pretty much like the Blair Witch Project in a way.
You know what? I am gonna I'm gonna discuss that later.
The Marble
like
Hornets
when we get
videos?
to it. No, not that.
Slender
like, okay, no, not Slenderman, but the whole thing about found footage.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, this would be a podcast to talk about it. I mean, we're talking about.
Well, I was going to say like later on the podcast, but fuck it, we'll just talk about it now. Do you think that found footage videos are like the worst?
I think they're way like I think there was a point like around the Paranormal Activity craze where it was like way too oversaturated. And people got sick of it.
Then you had like Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, Blair Witch Project was where it really kicked off the genre.
Yeah, like that was actually a decent movie.
Yeah, especially if you saw it at the time because you thought it was actually real, because found footage wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah, that revolutionized the found footage, and then later on, people started doing it, and it was terrible.
Yeah, I mean, like the first Paranormal Activity was probably okay, but then they just started. It turned into a fucking franchise, and it got worse, of course, with each entry.
Yep. There's one I actually fucking remember. It's called The Last Exorcism.
I think I've heard about that.
I actually watched that movie, and fuck, it wasn't a bad movie,
but it wasn't that good.
It just was kind of meh. To me, it was. And then all of a sudden, people actually liked it. Because I was watching in the theaters, too, and people were in there. I hear, oh, God, it's scary.
Yeah. Like, there's some found footage movies that are good, like the Wreck movies, VHS. The VHS movies are really good. Blair Witch Project, of course. Maybe some of the Paranormal Activity movies are okay. There's not too many I can think of, though, to be honest. Okay, the first Grave Encounters was actually okay. That one movie I talked about before, Hell House, is a okay movie. The first one was, at least. They made 2 others. I'm pretty sure they're shit. I didn't watch them. That's all I can really think of, though.
It was just meh.
Unfortunately, the movies I was talking about, Wreck, they're Spanish horror movies. It's basically about these people like trapped in an apartment building, and they're being like there are like these things in there that are basically, I guess they're supposed to be like flesh-eating zombies or something, and everybody kind of gets like barricaded in there by like basically just quarantined in the apartment and they can't leave. Of course, they did a shitty American remake of the movie called Quarantine, which I think was for the most part, I think it was like a shot-for-shot remake. So it's one of those fucking American remakes where they just kind of don't do anything different with it. It's like they just basically just try to make money off the name, I guess.
Yeah,
I didn't see Quarantine. I saw Wreck. I would recommend just seeing Wreck. Quarantine might be okay, but I would say just watch Wreck instead. It's probably better. The Americans tend to not, not the American adaptations of foreign films tend to not be as good as the original foreign films they're based on. I've noticed, especially when it comes to like J-horror stuff. The only exceptions are like The Grudge and like the original Ring movie, or not the original. I mean the first American remake of The Ring, I should say. The original Ring movie is actually really good, though. I would recommend that, which is just called Ringu.
Yeah, I heard about that one. Unless you watch the fucking new one, which is god awful.
Oh, Rings.
That was.
I have no idea why they decided to make another Ring movie. Like, why they thought it would be a good idea to do that. And then and then there was The Grudge 2020.
Yeah, that one. That's what I was thinking of.
Wild.
Grudge 2020.
They actually made 3 American Grudge movies, and then they made another one.
Why they do it, I don't know.
I mean, I will give them credit. From what I hear, they did try to do something different with the plot, but apparently because of studio interference, the movie ended up being really bad. Apparently, the director actually wanted to make a good movie, but I guess the studio was just like, no.
Of course the studio is going to be like, no.
No, fam, we're going to make the movie we want you to make.
We don't want.
It's like, you want more atmospheric horror, you want more slow burn horror. No, jump scares. More jump scares.
That's all they will give it, is just jump scares.
Yeah.
That's all they care about.
That's the thing I hate in like a lot of movies now. Is like, and I'm pretty much immune to jump scares. Like, they just don't get me unless they're done really well, and I just don't expect it. But I don't really care about jump scares in horror movies. I really appreciate more like good atmosphere, or just good like monster design, good practical effects, all that kind of stuff.
If done right, jump scares can work.
They can, yeah. I will say, like, any of the movies James Wan has worked on is like an exception. Like the Conjuring movies, and, or at least the first 2 Conjuring movies. What else? Insidious, or the first 2 Insidious movies. I think he worked on those.
Oh yeah, those movies were meh to me.
Yeah, the first one, like, yeah, they were okay. Could have been better. I couldn't take the ghost in the first movie seriously because he looked like Darth Maul.
The best kind of ghost.
Anyways, I think we should probably move on.
Move on to like fear.
Yeah.
Like
Fear factor.
Since I'm missing like ghost stories can like trauma to like capitalize on like the fears that people felt like in childhood, fears in adults.
Oh yeah, we were kind of going into the because I see you said have tropes used for horror media. We were kind of going into that.
Yeah, we were, but I never really capitalized on the fear.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on what makes you scared, because
like what terrified you as a child?
I mean, I think we kind of went over that, like what terrified us. Well, I mean,
Not all the time. Not all the fears.
no, I'm terrified of heights. I still am. I'm really claustrophobic. Like, I don't like really tight and closed spaces. Obviously, that, yeah.
I just hear, ah.
Well, speaking of which, sharks do fucking freak me the fuck out. Like, yeah, I don't.
Gargara creeps you out?
Well, not Gargara, but sharks. Like,
Gargara, we're so sorry.
Not shark anime girls. Shark anime girls are fine.
Nope, not that at all.
Obviously, like the dark. Like, I mean, as a child, it's not really so much anymore. But like the dark used to, in general, just darkness and like darkness. I don't know. That's pretty much it.
Honestly, for me,
I didn't
though,
like being alone. Like, I didn't like being alone in my house.
Yeah, that was one thing that kind of really, truly terrified me. Like, when I was a kid, I didn't mind being alone, but as I got older, and the whole thing, like, I had, like, a girlfriend that didn't work out in high school, but I was just, like, afraid, like, truly afraid of being alone. It made me go... It kind of fucked me up psychologically, in a sense.
Well, no, I meant, like, just
it.
being alone in my house.
Oh, in your house, okay. Not like the psychological horror, which is like a love life.
Well,
which is like, I don't want to be alone.
I mean, I don't. I'd rather not be alone, sure, but it doesn't. I don't know if I'd say it like scares me. I guess you could say to some extent, like, I'm kind of afraid of that. I mean, I think everybody is to some extent, unless they're just like living the whole like MGTOW lifestyle where they're just like, I don't need women.
I don't need women, and then they become Christian and actually become a woman, which is even worse.
But yeah, as a kid, like if I was alone at my house, like nobody was here, and I didn't know why, I would be like freaking out.
I would too.
Not much else I can think of though.
Like, it just depends on the fear, honestly.
Because people are afraid of different things.
Yep, agreed. Now let's go back to the tropes.
Yeah. Remakes of jump scares becoming the okay. We kind of did talk about jump scares.
Yeah, we did, and how sometimes like jump scares, how they're really fucking overdone.
I think this is more relevant though. Remakes of horror media that sour the classics.
Oh yeah, I knew that you would like that one because there's like a lot. It doesn't.
We were just talking about some of that.
It's like not just horror films, but also horror games too.
Yeah, true.
Like Resident Evil 3.
Oh right, yeah. I was trying to think of one, and then I was like, yeah, that's true.
Like the Resident Evil 2 remake was good. They actually captivated the original, and it's new in a new light. The third one,
yeah, because the third one is completely different from the original game. Like it doesn't have the choice system. They abandoned the choice system. Different things happen in the plot. Nemesis has kind of like a different form in this game where he turns into this like dog-like creature where I don't think he does that in the original game. There are parts cut out of the game that like big areas cut out of the game. I think Dead Factory, the clock tower, the police station apparently was bigger in the original game.
And they tried to make fucking Jill Valentine into Ripley from fucking Ripley from Alien.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing too. Like in the original game, she doesn't have that like huge railgun. She apparently like I think you kill Nemesis a different way. Like in the original, she doesn't have a giant fucking railgun. She just picks up.
Yeah, it's just
when I first played it, I was like, "Oh, this is so cool." And then I thought about it more. I'm like, this is really stupid.
Yeah, you're like, this is actually kind of badass, and then you see the fans reacting like, "Oh my god, it's so cool!" And it's like, I don't like this anymore.
Well, it's just it goes back to, like, I mean, it's even more ridiculous than Chris punching a fucking boulder. I mean, it's just it's a like almost like 100-pound woman or something, like picking up like a how big is that fucking railgun? You know,
like maybe 250 pounds, maybe a little
probably
more than
that actually. I mean, just, if you see how fucking big that thing is, and also when she fires it cracks the ground beneath her. Like, how the hell does that work?
What the fuck? I don't know
how does
it
that
works.
not just make her explode? Like, the fucking ground beneath her just cracks when she fires the gun.
Wait, it makes her explode?
No. I was like, how does that not make her fucking just, like, you know, when she fires that fucking gun and has that much impact? Like, she should just be, like, knocked backwards or something, like you would think.
Or just have it where she's, like, flying away.
Yeah. Other remakes of horror games? I don't know.
Like, okay, remakes of horror games.
That's a tough one. Because, you know,
I know we talked about, like, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, now you're talking about movies.
Yeah, I know, like, I'm just talking about all media.
I actually haven't seen the Resident Evil remake, but I don't really want to.
Imagine Rorschach as
I know
Freddy
he played
Krueger.
Freddy Krueger in that.
Yeah. Now I'm just looking through all the games I have and trying to think of what other horror games, like, they remade.
Well, I'll go over the movies. Because one that's coming out apparently pretty soon is Jordan Peele's version of fucking Candyman, which is going to be fantastic. And Jordan Peele's also doing the fucking Twilight Zone. I really think that, this is my honest opinion, and I know not everybody's going to agree. I think that Jordan Peele's a hack. I think that, like, everything he touches turns to shit. I don't know why people take him seriously. I don't know why he's like a fucking director. I just don't think he's talented at all. I don't think the only thing people know him for is Get Out, which I think was like a mediocre movie in general, in my opinion.
Get Out
wasn't that good. Like, people say Us was good. I haven't seen Us, but I saw Get Out and I was just like, it's just, I don't know what people are praising this for. Like, the plot is like any other horror movie you ever see. Oh man, the whole plot is basically why people be crazy. You know,
well, I know that. I'm like looking at fucking. I'm looking at Candyman. Apparently, he's not directing it.
I think he's involved with it though.
He's writing and
producing
producing it.
Shit. He's fucking writing it. It's no.
Yeah, and he's not act. Well, no. Yeah, he's not even acting in it either.
He's also doing Lovecraft Country, which also, by the way, has almost nothing to do with H.P. Lovecraft.
Well, he's an executive producer. He's not really much of the writer or creator of
Lovecraft Country?
Yep.
It might have been Jar Jar Abrams. I know J.J. Abrams involved in that shit, too.
J.J. Abrams didn't create it either.
Are you sure? I heard he was part of that.
J.J. Abrams? Oh, okay, never mind. He's an executive producer. I bet.
I was about to say.
Hey, remember Star Wars and how much I fucked that up?
J.J. Abrams is a bit of a hack, too. Like, he might have done some things that is okay, but I feel like he's also kind of a hack. He just doesn't have an original bone in his body.
Well, then again, don't you think that his lost partner is also
Damon
a hack
Lindelof?
in some regard?
Yeah, he's a hack.
Yeah.
Too.
The only good thing that he created was Leftovers.
Yeah, like he's responsible for Watchmen 2020, which was bad.
Yeah. That came out last year.
Did it?
It was TV show.
No, I think it was. Was it last year? I think it was this year. Pretty sure it was this year.
It was last year.
Well, it has nothing to do with Watchmen either. Anyways, let's get back to horror movie remakes.
But it had critical acclaim.
They're thinking about remaking The Thing, which does not need a remake, and I swear if they remake it, I will fucking riot. The Thing does not need a remake.
I know they're remaking or rebooting Saw as something else. So Spiral.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know what that is actually. Like it's in the same universe as Saw and has like a Chris Rock.
Samuel L.
It
Jackson.
actually looked interesting. Like I was like, okay, well if they can actually do a good movie that's I guess kind of related to Saw, but yeah, that's the thing. Like Saw hasn't been good for a while.
Yeah, it's fucking weird how he's involved.
Yeah, when I saw it, I was like, what?
Well, he's not creating it though, which is good.
well, Chris Rock's just an actor, and like I don't know who's the director or whatever.
Darren Lynn Bousman.
I think I remember looking him up. I think he did Saw 2.
Saw 2, 3, and 4. He also did Repo, the genetic opera.
That was actually good, apparently. So I mean, he's got a good track record. So maybe he can do something good with this movie. But I know it's been delayed because of the virus.
Yeah, like that's, you know what? Speaking of Saw, I think there's like one topic that we can talk about, which is fucking villains that don't fucking die.
Actually, I could talk about that right off the bat with a fucking video game franchise. Albert Wesker.
Yeah. They killed him off, and it's like, nope, the Wesker legacy lives on. Alex. Yeah. But I was like talking like how like Saw with the fucking Jigsaw like dying, but nope, he's still around.
His legacy lives on. He was a mastermind, and his ideas like people became copycats of Jigsaw, and then he did all this shit before he died. Like in the Jigsaw movie, like he set everything up because it's like the dude is dead, and even beyond the grave, he's somehow like trapping people in these fucking death games or whatever. And then he has a bunch of copycats.
Yeah, and then they make, spoiler for that, they made one of the main characters in the first movie the killer.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, yep, that's it.
This is what happens when you have like a long-running horror movie franchise. I mean, the same thing can be said for all these fucking slasher movies. We talk about fucking Michael Myers or Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees. They can never be killed.
Ghostface was another one.
Yeah, like but I guess I could say with that, it's just different people taking the role, not so much just like the same person.
I know a fucking film franchise that won't die. The Final Destination movies never died.
God. Yeah, I just and the movie, those movies aren't really scary either. They're just like, people dying of random different circumstances, like crazy different, just something crazy happening to them and them getting killed.
Yeah, and apparently they're working on a 6th film.
Oh god, that's probably like one of my least favorite horror franchises. I just don't really like it. Has an interest, sure, like in the first movie, interesting premise, but it shouldn't have kept going. But
I agree.
It's just if you like blood and gore, you'll probably like the movies. If you don't, you're not really gonna get anything out of it. Because like I said, it's not scary.
It's really not. It's like it kind of had like the sense of deja vu. It's like, oh yeah, I saw this in a dream. Hey, he's gonna die. Someone else dies. Well, fuck.
I don't know about characters that won't die, but I guess you could kind of say this for the Alien franchise. Like, the Xenomorphs will never really die. Like, they'll always come back.
Or the Predator
too.
Or also Ripley.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because in Alien Resurrection, they made a fucking android clone of her or something.
And she fucking hated androids, and it had nothing to do with the original movie.
Fuck, what else?
You're trying to think of, like, remakes that... Sour.
Remakes? Fuck. I mean, there are remakes that are good, but they're very few and far between. Remakes are like sequels to the Thing, for example, like the Thing 2011 was like, oh, that wasn't okay, it was a prequel. Never mind, prequel.
Yeah, it was a prequel.
A prequel that really I would argue we really didn't need. Unnecessary.
That was one of them.
Just like the Thing remake that might be happening, totally unnecessary.
Yep.
I guess you could kind of say the same thing for the recent Halloween, since it's technically a sequel, but also kind of a reboot at the same time.
Are you talking about the
Halloween 2018
new Halloween movie? That movie was actually
it was good,
though,
yeah.
not gonna
I
lie.
mean, there are exceptions. That was good in my opinion.
It could have been better though.
Yeah.
In some regard, but at the same time, it was a lot fucking better than the past other movies.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give Rob Zombie credit, at least with the first movie. Like, he tried to do something different, but it's just the first movie is mediocre at best. Second movie is fucking awful. It's just terrible.
Yep.
Like
it shouldn't have.
Yeah, the second Rob Zombie Halloween at least was like the end of it. So nothing after that. Rob Zombie's horror movie. Like, can we talk about Rob Zombie as a director? Like, Rob Zombie's movies are all the same.
Yeah. Oh, didn't he release his other movie, like The Devil's 3 or something like that?
All his fucking movies have like a bunch of white trash rednecks. Like, just it's always has fucking white trash people, and it's always like some kind of torture porn stuff. There's a bunch of gore, blood and gore.
Oh, never mind. It was called 3 from Hell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll have his wife in there because he wants to see his wife naked or something.
He'll always throw his thing in. Wait, what? That's what they fucking call that trilogy? What? Guess what they call the House of 1,000 Corpses, the fucking Devil's Rejects, and 3 from Hell. You know what? You want to know what the trilogy was called? It was called the fucking Firefly trilogy.
How was it called? The Firefly trilogy.
You know what? Good question. Oh, right, because it's the Firefly family, supposedly, because a baby firefly.
Yeah, I didn't know that the 3 from Hell was a follow-up to Devil's Rejects. House of 1,000 Corpses is actually okay. Devil's Rejects, I don't remember much about. Yeah, so I don't know. Rob Zombie's just been kind of I guess I could say sort of a mediocre director.
A lot better than Jordan Peele.
I'd take him any day over Jordan Peele, actually. At least with Rob Zombie, I know I won't be getting some woke bullshit.
Crazy white people coming after me. Crazy. Oh wait, they're going after white people. Okay, it's fine.
I don't get how. I mean, yeah, in that movie they were like trying to take black people's brains or something and like transplant them into themselves.
To white people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the premise. They wanted to kidnap these like black people and like surgically like transplant their brains into them because apparently the black people have like great physical attributes and like intelligence or whatever the fuck.
Are they trying to be like? Is he trying to be like LTG, which is like they don't have the black big dick genes?
That's pretty much unironically what it was. It's like they got the black people genes. We gotta take.
Get out! Gotta get out when you can.
Like, does that premise not sound so stupid? Like, it's just,
and they ran with it. When you think about it.
Fucking ran with that. Oh my god!
Why do you think it was a good idea?
And I mean that's not even racist either. Like they're kind of like deifying you and saying you're so great. We need to take your brains and like so we can have the things that you have.
You know what? This actually brings up to another trope that's been used, like the parts where it's like plot points that make zero sense in horror films.
Oh, there's a lot.
Or plot twists. Like, okay,
I know like M. Night Shyamalan is not. It's not a horror. He doesn't really make horror films. He makes or supernatural or psychological thrillers or whatever the fuck they're called, psycho thrillers. But then he has a twist, and it makes zero fucking sense.
Yeah, M. Night felt like he had to have all of his movies have a fucking twist.
Like, really? He's like, hey, the aliens are here. They're just big bad creatures. What's that? They can't open doors? Okay. What's that? They're afraid of water. What?
Why are they afraid of water?
I don't know why. Oh, you know what? I have to look. I gotta look that shit up now. It's from that movie Signs.
Okay, like I will say, some of its twists work. Like in the movie The
Sixth Sense.
Yeah, The Visit too. If you've seen The Visit, like where it was like they weren't their actual grandparents, and I was like, oh yeah, I can kind of see that. That's an interesting. I didn't actually like anticipate that one. I don't know about any ideas on movie. Oh, The Village. The Village, I guess it kind of made sense. Yeah. You know, the one where it's like they were in the you thought it was like the 1800s or whatever because of the way they were dressed, and then like you find out that they're in like some kind of Amish sort of weird society, like kind of cut off from like the rest of the world.
Oh, we talking about The Village. That wasn't
Yeah, I mean it worked. It worked as a twist. I think it wasn't.
And then he made.
I think people were pissed off of that movie because they thought it was going to be like a horror movie, and it wasn't. It was like a romance, I think.
Yeah, and that's what really.
But it was advertised as a horror movie.
Yeah, that's like the one thing I never understood. Also, here's the why. Alien, in the fucking science, apparently it burns the alien and causes a great amount of pain, yet they don't show why.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense.
The one thing that makes zero fucking sense to me is like, M. Night Shyamalan has some decent ideas.
Yeah.
But they're poorly executed.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I don't understand.
Trying to think, like twists that made no sense. I know it was a dream sequence, but like in the first Friday the 13th, where like Jason just fucking comes out of the water, like you know he's dead, but he just comes out of the water. I mean, it was a nightmare scene. I can't really shit on that one, but
I mean, you can, but you can.
Oh fuck, what else?
I just don't understand why. What other plot twists were there? I would say like the ending to Dead Space 1, but at the same time, it was actually kind of well done.
What was the twist there again?
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I don't remember actually.
Oh, right. When they showed off Isaac's face and then all of a sudden, hey, there's a monster.
All that, yeah. Yeah, that was...
But it's like, it makes sense.
Yeah. There were some...
which was more hard?
Like, I'll say like one I didn't really see coming. Like, it wasn't bad. It was just one I didn't really anticipate. Like, there was this horror movie, I think it was like last year, that Netflix put out. I think it was called Eli or something, and it was about this kid who was I guess he had a weak immune system, so he was in like his parents put him into a bubble and stuff, and he went to this place to so the doctors could potentially, I guess, find like a cure for him. Plot twist was basically that he was the son of Satan. And I thought it was going to be something completely different. I did not see that coming at all. Because like it had been pretty grounded and realistic for most of the movie, and then all of a sudden it pulled an Omen. I had just pulled the rug out from under us and was like, yeah, he's basically the son of Satan.
He's always going to be the son of Satan.
Yeah. I can't really think of much else though. Like in terms of like bad plot twists or something.
I can't really think of one either.
Yeah. Because I can think of some, but they aren't necessarily like horror movies.
Well, what about horror games that you could think of that the plot twist made like zero fucking sense?
Okay. The Prey reboot. It's not necessarily like a horror game. I guess you could kind of say it's like sci-fi horror. Yeah, I think the plot twist at the end of that game is just basically like, I forget what it was. Like you were in a simulation. You were like reliving the memories of the character that you were playing as or something, and then like it's revealed like you were in a simulation and your brother reveals to you that the alien had already taken over Earth, and it like sequel baits by saying like we're gonna take back Earth from the alien. So that kind of came out of fucking nowhere, because I was like the whole time I was just like, okay, like, you know, it didn't really imply there was any sort of a twist, and then at the end it's like all of a sudden there's a plot twist.
And didn't they have like a sequel,
like
or like DLC for it?
Yeah, it was like Moon Crash or something. I forget. I think it was like Moon
yeah,
Crash.
It's called Moon Crash. That's like one game that's like supposedly really decent, but then when you play, it's like meh.
It's sort of like a spiritual successor to like System Shock, I guess, or like it was really heavily inspired by System Shock. I mean, it's an okay game. It's not amazing. It's okay for what it is. Yeah, I'm not really sure about any other plot twists I didn't really care for.
I can't really think of any either. Well, I do have one thing since we're talking about video games and all that. And you know full well. I mean,
one of the bad ending, or not the bad. One of the endings in the original Silent Hill. I think I mentioned it before, where you find out, like, where it basically just says that Harry was dead in the after crashing the car, and the whole thing was like a nightmare or something. He was just dead in the car the whole time. That's like the worst ending you can get in the game, though. And it's not.
Yeah, because it's like, hey, yeah, isn't it like the Silent Hill movie as well?
What about the Silent Hill movie?
You remember the first Silent Hill
like
movie,
when they,
right? Where it's
you mean when they can't actually leave the Silent Hill, like at the ending?
Yeah,
I didn't mind that twist. I thought it was okay.
But in the movie though, it's like the wife and daughter were actually dead.
I don't know if it's
Sean Bean's character's wife and kid.
I don't know
dead.
if it's that they're dead. They just can't, like, they can't leave. They're stuck there.
Like, I thought that was kind of meh.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. I mean, because they kind of like retconned that in a way in the Revelations. If you ever saw that movie.
Yeah. Oh, so damn that. I actually would have liked if those characters were actually dead in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and people hated the fucking Silent Hill Revelation movie.
It was trash.
That's what I've been told. I never
pissed
watched
me off
it. That's
even
what
more
I've been
because
told.
it was an adaptation of Silent Hill 3, which was my favorite of the franchise.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't really think of much else. Yeah. Okay. What else we?
You can't.
Yeah, I'm just drawing a blank on a lot of stuff.
Well, guess what?
Hail Satan!
Yeah.
That's all you can.
Because I can think of more plot twists I actually liked than I didn't like, to be honest.
Okay, what plot twists actually were good? Since you're going to talk about this one.
Fuck. Okay. God damn it.
What?
Well, the one I mentioned where it was like, it took me by surprise, the one for that movie Eli I actually enjoyed, because it was like, I actually did not see that one coming, and it kind of made sense, in a way. Shit.
Like, I'm trying to think of plot twists that are actually good.
Yeah, same here, actually.
I know one that made zero sense. The Grudge remake, where it's like at the end, the mother's like hugging the child.
Did you see that?
It turns out it wasn't. I fucking saw that movie. It was terrible.
One?
Yes.
Oh, how bad was that?
Very bad. Like, I'll tell you the ending. Apparently, they fucking burned down the house where the Grudge was actually in, and all of a sudden they leave, and it's like, oh hey, it's a normal life. And all of a sudden he's like, I love you, son. And then all of a sudden you see a kid walk by and say, hi mom, I'm going off to school. And it's like, nope, the plot twist was that the Grudge wasn't dead.
Oh, the plot twist for Hereditary, that was, I don't know how I felt about that one. I kind of liked it. It was weird. Like, it was like the one I mentioned before with the kid being the son of Satan. It's kind of like that. Like, because the ending implies like the whole family, or at least like because like in the movie when we're watching it, like the grandmother was into some weird shit. But then at the end of the movie, you find out that like this was all some kind of like occult fucking thing, like in order to like have one of the children, I think it was like Charlie, like reincarnated as like a descendant of Satan or some crazy shit. I was just like, what? It just took me by surprise when I saw it.
Like makes zero sense.
Yeah, I mean, you can, I don't know. I guess you could kind of make sense of it. It doesn't, the movie just, it doesn't really like, it doesn't really imply, the twist at the end or anything. So I mean, there's enough reason for doubt there, I guess. But I thought it was fine. The Sixth Sense twist, obviously, that's a classic.
That's always gonna be a classic.
I know this isn't really a horror movie, but like a twist I didn't care for, like the Shutter Island. I thought it was lazy. It was just basically just like Leonardo DiCaprio's character was crazy the whole time. None of it was happening. I was just like, really? I thought it was lazy. It's like, because they set up all this stuff, and then they're just like, just to say he was crazy the whole time. Okay. Ones I liked. I don't know like how many movies I've seen that had like crazy twists. The one from the another Shyamalan movie, The Visit, actually had an okay plot twist, like where they find out the grandparents were not their real grandparents. I was like, that kind of makes sense.
Get me out.
Yeah.
Clean my oven, bitch. It's like, oh god, no. Actually, this isn't really a horror thing either, but plot twists I hated. I know I praised this, or I said it was okay in the last podcast, but I've recently kind of one of the reasons, not the last podcast, but one of the earlier podcasts, but it was the ending to Twin Peaks: The Return. It was kind of a twist, and it was, in my opinion, I thought it was fucking terrible. Because it's basically just like you learn that basically
what was it? They're in like a different timeline or something like that, or
parallel universe.
Yeah, he didn't really like save her. He didn't save Laura Palmer. It was just like, if you're a fan of the show, it feels like a massive slap in the face. And it's not that I want a good or happy ending, but I want one that at least makes sense. Like, it just felt like this one was just like, it was just, I just don't even know. It was just like, came out of fucking nowhere. I don't know. I can't think of much else.
It just could have been better.
I think we should move on, though.
Let's talk about, like, fucking genres that the horror genre changed to action.
Oh, so like the Evil Dead movies.
Evil Dead movies was one. Dead Space 3, Resident Evil.
The Phantasm series that I was talking about on the other podcast, that's another example, because then the first movie was kind of more horror, and then the second movie was much more action, and after that it became more like an action horror series.
Yeah. It just became terrible.
Alien.
Especially like Alien 2.
Aliens. I don't know if I could say like Alien kind of went that direction.
I'm trying to think of other. I know like Dead Space 3, Resident Evil, and the films too.
The what?
The films.
Which films?
Resident Evil.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah.
It's like, why take something that was horror based and turning into that? It's like, it makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, if you can do it well, that's one thing, but yeah, no. Wasn't done too well. They kind of did it in a way with Silent Hill. Hear me out. They did it with Silent Hill Homecoming, because like Silent Hill Homecoming was more encouraged you more to like fight the monsters, whereas like in the other games you could fight them, but it was more better idea to run away or to avoid them.
Yep.
In Homecoming, it feels more like they want you to fight the monsters.
Yeah.
Same thing, sort of. Well, maybe not so much with Downpour. I don't know. Maybe. I know with Homecoming, yeah, you fight the monsters more.
Or fucking, what was it? The Book of Memories.
That was more like Dungeon Crawler, but yeah, you fought the monsters more than that.
Yeah, that one really sucked.
Anything else you can think of?
Where films became horror to action. Anything?
Yeah, because I can't really think of much else.
I would say Doom.
The movie?
But then again, Doom was more of an action game anyway. Oh no, here's a reverse of that. Doom was an action game, and then they made it into like a horror game with Doom 3.
Yeah. Well, it was still action, but yeah, it was more like slow paced.
Yeah, that was the one that's like, why the fuck did they do this?
Well, fortunately, they never did it again after that.
Yeah, they didn't. Instead, they made it into like what was it? Back to what it originally was. It was fast paced and hey, blood and gore everywhere, which was great.
Yeah, I feel like Doom 2016, and especially Doom Eternal, is like the basically what Doom should be. Although Doom 3 is not a bad game, I think it's an okay game. It's just it's a weird entry in the franchise.
Yeah, very weird. Like, it could have been better, but I didn't like the whole slow pace.
Yeah. They were going for a more horror-oriented approach to it, which, I mean, kind of effective, but I feel like they should just stick to being more action-oriented.
Yeah, more action-oriented.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I pretty much said all the ones that I can think of.
Yeah, same.
I think we should probably move on to what else we got here.
Yeah, we're going to take what other topics I have. I had
well,
Oh yeah, put in horror elements in media that shouldn't really have it.
So, like, what do you mean, for example?
I'm just thinking like say like they add in like some horror, like make like a good example would be like A Hat in Time where they have like a segment where it goes from like completely normal to hey it's horror based.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yep. Or that fucking piano Mario 64.
Yeah.
What others can you think of that have that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Fuck. Yeah, because I know what you mean. Yeah, like when something just turns into horror all of a sudden. Yeah, I think you gave some pretty good examples. I'm just trying to, like... I just don't know if I can really... think of much of anything here.
Chrono Trigger was definitely another one.
Really?
Yeah. I forget what it was, but it's like... I'm trying to think of what it was. It's like a mansion? Like Dark Manor. Hang on, let's see if I can find it. Try to... I gotta look for this shit. Hang on.
Yeah, I know, like, I think they did this with some of the shows I used to watch when I was a kid, too, where they would, like, all of a sudden have, like, a horror-oriented thing. I think they did this, like, I'm kind of grasping at straws here, because I'm having a hard time thinking of examples, but I don't know if you remember Rugrats All Grown Up? Like, where they were teenagers?
No, I don't.
Okay. I think there was an episode where there was a kid who was a vampire or something. He was a vampire or a fucking demon. I don't know. It was really weird. And I was just like... it was like a horror episode, and I was like, wow, that kind of took me off guard.
Also, yeah, that was what I was thinking of in Chrono Trigger. Magus Castle.
Okay.
Like, it was fucking terrifying.
Yeah, I really don't know. I'll probably come up with something like right after the podcast too, knowing me. But
or Pee-wee's Big Adventure was another one.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah, it's like, even though it was like directed by Tim Burton, he had like some creepy elements to like one scene.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, anything from Tim Burton really is kind of pretty creepy in general.
But at the same time, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But it just could have been a lot better.
Yeah, I really don't know. I came up with like one example. Like, I just don't know what else I can.
A fucking like, what games did you play that you're like, oh, I really like this, and they're like, oh shit, horror segment. Oh god.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Because I know what you mean. I know what you're talking about. I'm just like trying to think of games like that. Because like, a game usually that I was playing that would have something like that would already have established itself as being like horror or having horror elements at least. So it wasn't really like surprising.
Yeah.
Okay. I know this is going to be another weird example, but I think we talked about this on the other podcast. But that fucking Frogger game on the PS2.
Oh Jesus!
There is. Oh, okay. Now I'm reminded of some other things. Okay. But in the Frogger game on the PS2, there was a level called the Catacombs, and you would go in there, and there'd be like, I think there were fucking vampires or something you would encounter in that area. Vampires or zombies, I'm not sure. But that one like kind of took me by surprise when I played the game. I was like, oh shit. There are levels in the original Thief games that are horror oriented and they have like zombies and fucking ghosts, and those levels are kind of creepy actually, because you hear them moaning and making all these fucking noises, and it's really damn creepy, and they can spot you a lot easier than human enemies can. This is kind of a thing in like all the Thief games, But especially in like Thief, Deadly Shadows, there's the Shellbridge Cradle level, which has ghosts and also these weird mutated creatures walking around that look like something out of Silent Hill. And you got to avoid those and sneak around them, which is really fucking creepy. It's probably like one of the scariest levels I've played in a video game, to be honest. But yeah, the Thief games I would say are like prime examples of games like stealth games. You wouldn't expect there to be horror elements in there, but there's horror stuff.
Oh, I actually know. Look, it's just a game that people actually really enjoy, even though it's not really much of a horror game. But when you least expect it, it kind of makes you jump a little bit. Which would be like if an imposter kills you and they have like a little cutscene of how they kill you.
What game?
Among Us.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, you're not the imposter. Like, if you're the imposter, all you see is like, oh, hey, dead body now. And all of a sudden, when you become a crewmate, hey, you're not the imposter. Oh, hey, imposter kills you.
Yeah.
It plays like some horror-based music. And it shows you getting killed.
Yeah, I would say like maybe some of the levels in the early Tomb Raider games, like at least as a kid, kind of freaked me out, even though they weren't technically like horror, I guess.
Even though it's not really much horror, yeah.
Yeah, I would say like the first level of Tomb Raider 2, where like there's the fucking tiger that just comes out to kill you. I was like, oh shit! Like as a kid, that fucking scared the shit out of me.
Yo, yeah.
It's fucking like
kind of has like the,
two tigers just like running up on you, fucking trying to kill you.
Well, you don't punch it in the face like Kiryu?
I wish you could.
That would be awesome. That would be fucking awesome. But no, they don't do that shit because, you know, games are stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's all I can really think of.
I'm trying to think of other games that have that, where they're not intentionally scary, but it's like that one part that's like, oh shit, it happened. I could say that Lost kind of terrified me. Not terrified me, but it kind of like made me jump out of my seat.
You mean Lost the show, or like?
Yes, the show.
Really?
Yeah. No, I lost my keys. Because it's like, you don't know what's out there. Like, in the beginning where it's like a big fucking mystery, right. And it's like, you don't know what's fucking out there, and all of a sudden you discover one of the mysterious entities that's like, oh shit, what's gonna fucking happen?
Yeah. I could see that.
And it just becomes good after that. Although that show is, it kind of went meh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from what I've heard.
But it could have been better.
Yeah, but I pretty much gave all my examples as far as the ones I can think of. I think we should probably move on to what is favorite horror media we were recommending. It's video games.
I love how I love how you're just reading my fucking typing, and you're like, what's this? Horror media? What the fuck is media? What does that mean?
Yeah, what is that? Explain to the class what is media.
Stop it. Get some help.
Okay.
Go back to school.
So horror media we recommend with video games, movies, and other forms of media such as books. Okay, so I'll give mine. The Silent Hill games are some of my favorite horror games. I recommend those. Resident Evil franchise is pretty much a no-brainer. Really, certain games within the franchise. The Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth That's a pretty good game. Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Any of the other games that is done by Frictional, such as the Penumbra games. Soma is actually kind of a horror game, but it's not so much. It has horror elements to it. Honestly, Bloodborne too, even though it's not really a horror game. It has a lot of Lovecraftian horror elements, so I would recommend it in that sense. Trying to think of like some other survival horror games.
Can't think of any.
Rule of Rose is pretty good from what I've played of it so far, so I'd recommend that. That's a pretty decent game. Extermination. It's a pretty underrated game, but it's kind of like The Thing, the video game. Also, there is a Thing video game that is also pretty good. I would recommend that as well. It's not too bad. It's actually like kind of a follow up to the original movie for The Thing. Yeah, I think that might Dead Space, obviously, Dead Space games.
Excluding the rail shooter, the puzzle game, and 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Actually, nah, 3 was actually okay.
Like I would,
play that over the rail shooter.
And the Outlast games are alright too. I recommend those. Those are okay.
I heard the Outlast games were meh.
Maybe the first Layers of Fear. That was an alright game.
I heard the sequel was better.
I actually got the sequel for free. They have that for free on the Epic Store. I just got it for free. The first Remothered, the Clock Tower games, Evil Within it's okay. At least the second game is good. First game, honestly, you don't have to play it, and I don't know if I'd really recommend the first one. The second one is the second one's a lot better, so I'd recommend that.
I was going to say, at least the first one was good until you get to a certain chapter.
Yeah, it just gets frustrating in the first game and near the end. The second one is a lot less. It's just a much better game in comparison.
Yeah, and actually, from what I heard, it actually maintains gameplay a lot better.
Yeah. Might be it. I don't know. I think it's about it. In terms of video games, at least. Other forms of media. I will go with books first before movies because this will be quicker. Any of the Stephen King books. Edgar Allan Poe is pretty good. H.P. Lovecraft is pretty much a no-brainer. Any of the Lovecraft stuff I would recommend. Junji Ito, when it comes to like horror manga, Junji Ito is fucking great.
Isn't that the one where it has like the fucking pimples coming out of the face?
It might be. He does a lot of body horror stuff.
Yeah, God, that was fucking creepy.
Oh yeah, I don't think we talked about The Fly. The Fly is a really good sci-fi horror.
Jeff Goldblum.
Because I was talking about body horror. That's a good body horror one. Okay, movies. Movies. The Fly, The Thing, the Halloween franchise, anything by John Carpenter. Pretty much anything by John Carpenter. Any James Wan movies such as Conjuring, Conjuring. I think he did maybe like the first 3 Saw movies are good too. I recommend those. Just don't watch after the 3rd movie because it gets bad. Fuck. The Exorcist, the first one, is really good.
Yeah, I was about to say something.
The Exorcist 1, yeah. And then the 3rd one is actually good too. Don't watch 2. 2 is a fucking horrible movie. Don't bother with 2. 3 is actually good. 3X also has what's his name? The guy that played Chucky in the original Child's Play. It was
Isn't it also a Grave of Worm Tongue?
he might be.
I think. Hold on. I have to look that up. Not Mark.
Yeah, he's really good in Exorcist 3.
Brad Dourif. Yeah, Grave of Worm Tongue.
I didn't even know that he was Grave of Worm Tongue.
Yeah, he is.
Okay. A Cure for Wellness, really good movie. Kind of pretty underrated movie. The Void. The Evil Dead movies. Any of the most of the George Romero movies, like the George Romero zombie movies. Friday the 13th up until a point, I would say. The Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Yep.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Dagon. Dagon's pretty good. The Color Out of Space, another good Lovecraft adaptation. There's a lot more I could recommend, but I think those are the few things I can
Jesus
say.
Christ. Yeah, it's like Jesus Christ. It's like, where's my recommendations?
No, go ahead. I'm done.
Well, I was going to say, like, I agree with Silent Hill, Resident Evil, Evil Within. I would just say just play both games if you can, just to see the major comparisons. Deadly Premonition.
Yeah.
Even though that's not really much of a horror game, but it does have horror elements. Castlevania is definitely another one. Not a scary game, but has horror elements in it. But like this, yeah, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Deadly Premonition, Evil Within, the Zombie Army games. Those aren't so bad.
Yeah.
Bloodborne. That was horrifying. What else was there? Try to think. Funny enough, even though this is not a horror game either, the Danganronpa series.
It's not.
It's not, but it has some horror elements in there too.
Evil fucking teddy bears?
The way that people just like mysteriously die, and it's like, what the fuck? It's like the setting of a horror film. Hey, kill somebody.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Other forms of horror games. Can't say Devil May Cry because that's not really much of a horror game.
No.
Vampire could be like a good horror game-esque type thing.
Yeah. Vampire, maybe Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, Vampire the Masquerade is definitely another one. The Call of Cthulhu games, mostly Dark Orders of the Earth, and the only good DOS game, which was Shadow of the Comet. Comet was one, or whatever. Or if you just want to watch Retsu Prey, like, react to it, go ahead.
Yeah.
I think of other video games, like the Doom games, too, even though they're not really horror.
Like horror themed.
Horror themed, yeah. Like, if you can find any horror levels in Dreams, I would recommend those two. Fuck, that's all for the games. For movies, I would say Nightmare Before Christmas, even though it's mostly a Christmas movie too, it still has both Halloween and Christmas in it.
Yeah.
Anything by Tim Burton is good, like Sweeney Todd, Frankenweenie.
The Sleepy Hollow movie with Johnny Depp.
That's another one. Yeah. That's another one.
Christopher Walken as the headless horse.
I was also going to say like Corpse Bride was another one. Yeah. Other horror movies. The It is a good one.
Yeah.
Both the miniseries and the movies, except for the second one.
Yeah, I hear. Yeah, part 2 or chapter 2 was okay. Like, it was not as good as the first one. It's still okay for what it was.
Yeah. Wait, I have to ask. Wouldn't Code Vein be considered like a horror game or no?
Well, then you'd have to say like the Dark Souls games and the Demon Souls of Sword.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm not gonna say the Dark Souls games because they're not as good like Bloodborne and
Bloodborne is definitely a lot more horror oriented.
That one's top tier. I'm trying to think of like other horror games. Oh, I know definitely another one. The Zero Escape series.
Mm-hmm.
Not really much horror, but meh.
Yeah, that's more like Danganronpa.
Yeah, I would recommend those. Costume Quest. It's a fun little RPG indie game that's based around Halloween. The premise where like little kids, like they were dressed up as like a robot costume, and they actually in battle become a robot. It's actually not that bad.
That was interesting.
Earthbound can be considered somewhat of a horror game to some parts of it, but it's like very disturbing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yep. Medieval. That's actually a decent one too.
Mm.
Has horror elements as well.
Yeah.
Both the original and the remake could be a good one. I was going to say films. The first Silent Hill movie was actually not that bad.
I agree.
The second one was god awful.
I can't believe I forgot about this one. The Descent. Really good fucking horror movie.
I've never seen that one.
Watch it. It's actually.
I would also say like. I would also recommend the Halloween movies, but I would only recommend the first original Halloween, then 2018 Halloween. You can just skip the rest.
I would say like the Halloween 1 through 3 is good.
And then skip the rest until Halloween 2018.
Depends. Like, was it like some of the other ones were okay. Like H2O was a pretty good way to cap off the franchise in a way, and then they had Resurrection, which was a fucking train wreck.
I completely forgot about this game too. Red Dead Redemption Undead Nightmare.
Yeah.
That's another good one.
Yeah.
The zombies mode from Call of Duty is actually not that bad either.
Mm.
Back to films. Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street, horror like Halloween, Friday the 13th. If you're actually into like horror shows, I would say like The Walking Dead to an extent.
Yeah.
But play the Telltale games; those are a lot better. And American Horror Story is good, except for Roanoke and Cult. Cult just was like very fucking funny.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where Trump supporters actually started their own cult.
This is Trump's America.
That's what it was making fun of or satirizing.
Yeah.
As for other media, I would actually just say H.P. Lovecraft, Edgar Allan Poe, Ice Nine Kills when they do the horror music.
Mm. And, get you a fucking Ouija board, try to summon Satan.
No, not that one. Fuck that. No, don't. I would not even say fuck with. I would say don't fuck with Ouija boards, dude. Because you get haunted. You get haunted, hey, motherfucker. It's haunted. Get out.
Get out there.
White people crazy. White people crazy. And then you see someone with a PowerPoint go, "This is why white people are crazy."
Some fat black chick. She's like, "This why white people be fucking crazy."
Jesus Christ. I actually can't think of anything else now. It's like I already said my music and shows and
No, I think what you said was good.
Until we think of some. You know what? I'll actually say one more. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners VR game was good.
Yeah.
If you want horror games. Or if you want to break your head with the VR.
An American Werewolf in London. Really good movie. Has some of the best werewolf effects. It's like one of the best werewolf transformation scenes ever.
What about Michael Jackson's throne?
Then there's another really
Oh, yeah,
good werewolf movie called The Howling, which I haven't seen, but I've heard of.
What about From Hell?
I haven't seen that one. Is that the one with Johnny Depp? Or is it
Yeah, an American slasher film by the Hughes brothers. It's based on
Jack the
Jack the
Ripper?
Ripper.
Yeah, I haven't
Yep.
seen it.
I heard that one's actually not that bad.
Yeah, same. But yeah, I think all that being said, we could probably move on to the recurring segment.
I'm cheating on mine, honestly.
Yeah.
Because last time I said Eichenfeld, and I said Adrian Figueroa was the one that inspired me, but here's my thing. I'm going to say Eichenfeld again, because it's one of those games that I tried to play other games. I tried so hard to play Amnesia, but like maybe 20 minutes in, I'm like, I'm going to go back to Eichenfeld. And that I did. I'm actually 2 chapters away from beating that game.
Nice.
If I had to say music as well, I would just say Static X's Project Regeneration Volume 1 was actually not a bad album.
Yeah, I didn't even know they were still making music.
It was I think it was like the guitarist's idea, like the original members.
Yeah.
I have to look that up again to make sure, but they decided to make music because they had like some of the original vocalists' audio that they could have used that wasn't used, so they decided to make music out of it. Yeah, Ken J, Tony Campos, and Koji Fukuda. They decided to do that, and funny enough, they're actually making another album, but they don't know when that's coming out.
Yeah, for me, I'm not really sure, to be honest. Like, I mean, I've been playing through Amnesia some more. I am still binging the Friday the 13th movies. We're trying to get through all the Friday the 13th movies. I don't really want to use that one again. I guess you could say just I'm just me binge watching horror movies in general, because that's what I'm going to be doing on Halloween. So I guess you could say that's what I like so far.
That's definitely what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
I think now we can go to the question that we have.
Okay. What's your favorite treat to receive on Halloween as a kid, as an adult, or both?
Both. Because you can still like enjoy the same thing you got as a kid as an adult too, but then there are some things as an adult that you can only enjoy as an adult.
Yeah, true. But also, like, what was your favorite treat to receive?
I know for a fact, like, anytime I would receive fucking gobstoppers, anything from, like, the Willy Wonka candies, mostly, like, Nerds or gobstoppers, I actually was like, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think,
I still like it as an adult.
This applies, yeah, like, this would also apply to me, you know, in terms of treats, both as a kid, as an adult. I think I'd definitely have to say my favorite candy bar is like the Twix bars. I fucking love Twix bars. So like whenever I would get Twix bars, I'd be like, oh, I'm just gonna eat all of them.
Did you try the cookies and cream ones yet?
No, but that sounds fucking great.
They are fucking good.
Oh no.
go to your gas
just,
station
like,
see if they
there
have.
right now. I was fucking getting to be like, bitch, you have fucking cookies and cream place.
I can just imagine someone going, where are you going? I'm like, getting cookies and cream Twix, fuck off. Can't stop me.
I just have Motley Crue's like Kickstart My Heart blast as I fucking drive down the road. I was like, I need to find this.
I'm trying to think of like what other music could be like used for that. Like you just have like some heavy fucking metal, have some like Devil Driver playing, and so you just walk in. Back with a vengeance, it's like plays and it's like, I want all your fucking Twix.
Well, speaking of metal too, like there's did you know Alice Cooper did a song for like the Jason Lives, did like Man Behind the Mask? And That was fucking great. I didn't even know he did that. Like, when I heard the credits, I was like, oh shit, Alice Cooper. It's a catchy song, though.
But what's your favorite treat to receive as an adult?
Oh, I said both as an adult, as a kid. It was Twix.
I was going to say, like, the one thing I enjoy, like, I had this happen before as an adult. Whenever I had my girlfriend or wife, they dressed up for me and had fun.
Yeah, that's... Oh, so you mean it that way, too. When you said treat, I was like, candy?
She had fucking Twix bars on her.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I like my share of, like I said earlier, scantily clad, dressed women in the slutty maid or the nurse outfit or whatever.
Best ones. Yeah. And then she'll try to pretend like speaking a French accent. It's like, I'm going to clean your house.
Oh, God.
Great. Now it's like someone touched my spaghetti.
Touched my spaghetti.
Someone is in this house. I should have got that as a soundboard. Shit.
I need to get to Don't Touch My Spaghetti.
The fucking all-star version.
Yeah.
Don't drop my spaghetti. I think we're done.
I was about to say. Anyways, I think that'll probably do it for this podcast. Now I think we will be giving our plugs. I'll just go ahead and show mine here. And I will show Levy's. I hope you guys have a safe Halloween. Stay safe and try to have fun. I will try to have as much fun as I can with just sitting around fucking watching movies or whatever, considering there's not much else for me to do. But regardless, hope you guys have a great Halloween, and until next time, we will see you all later.
Happy Halloween! In the Toriko Torito!